Martha sat in the cold doctor's office, her wrinkled hands shaking as she held a piece of paper. The words on it made her heart pound like a drum. Don't go home. Run. Dr. Sterling had secretly slipped her this note just minutes ago. His kind eyes looked scared as he whispered, "Trust me, Martha. Your life depends on it." But how could this be true? Martha was 70 years old and had lived a quiet, happy life. She had a beautiful house with a garden full of roses. She had Benjamin, the sweet little boy she adopted 25 years ago, who was now a grown man. She had Eleanor, Benjamin's wife, who always smiled and called her Mom. And there was Olivia, Eleanor's teenage daughter, who Martha loved like her own granddaughter. They were her family. They were supposed to love her back. Martha's mind raced back to that morning. Everything seemed normal when she woke up. Benjamin had made her breakfast, scrambled eggs, just the way she liked them. Eleanor had kissed her cheek and said, "Have a good day at the doctor, Mom. We'll see you tonight." Even Olivia had waved goodbye from the kitchen table where she was doing homework. "Love you, Grandma Martha," she had called out. So, why was Dr. Sterling telling her to run? Martha looked at the doctor with confused eyes. "I don't understand," she whispered. "What's wrong? Are you saying someone wants to hurt me?" Dr. Sterling closed his office door and sat down next to her. His voice was very quiet, like he was afraid someone might hear. "Martha, I've been your doctor for 15 years. I care about you like you're my own mother. That's why I have to tell you something terrible." Martha's stomach felt sick. "What is it?" "Yesterday, Benjamin came to see me. He brought Eleanor with him. They wanted me to sign papers saying you're not thinking clearly anymore. They want me to say you can't take care of yourself." Martha's eyes grew wide. "But that's not true. My mind works perfectly fine." "I know that," Dr. Sterling said, his voice getting louder. "That's exactly why I won't sign those papers." "But Martha, they're not going to stop. They have a plan and it's going to hurt you badly." Martha felt like the room was spinning. "What kind of plan?" Dr. Sterling took a deep breath. "They want to put you in a nursing home. They want to take control of your money, your house, everything you own. They think if I say you can't think straight, they can do whatever they want with your life." The words hit Martha like lightning. Her own son, the little boy she had loved and raised after her husband died, wanted to steal everything from her? "No," Martha whispered. "Benjamin wouldn't do that to me. He loves me." But even as she said the words, strange memories started flooding back. Last week, she had caught Benjamin looking through her desk drawers. When she asked what he was doing, he quickly closed them and said he was looking for a pen. 2 weeks ago, Eleanor had asked lots of questions about Martha's bank accounts. "Just curious, Mom," she had said with that big smile. "Want to make sure you're okay with money." And just last month, Martha had found some papers in Benjamin's coat pocket when she was doing laundry. They had big words she didn't understand, but she saw her name on them. When she asked Benjamin about it, he got angry, really angry, and told her to mind her own business. Now it all made sense. They weren't being helpful. They were planning something horrible. Dr. Sterling leaned forward. "Martha, I need you to listen carefully. Don't let them know that you know. Don't go home tonight acting different, or they might hurt you. But you need to be very careful and very smart." Martha's hands were shaking even more now. "What should I do? Where can I go? They're all I have." "No, they're not," Dr. Sterling said firmly. "You're stronger than you think. And you're not alone. I'm going to help you, and there are other people who will help too. But first, we need to find out exactly what they're planning." Martha felt tears in her eyes. How could the people she loved most in the world want to hurt her? She had given Benjamin everything: love, a home, money for college, help buying his first car. She had welcomed Eleanor into their family with open arms. She had bought Olivia clothes and toys and helped pay for her school trips. "Why would they do this to me?" Martha asked, her voice breaking. Dr. Sterling's face looked sad and angry at the same time. "Some people get greedy, Martha. They stop seeing the person who loves them and start seeing dollar signs. It happens more than you'd think, especially to older folks who have worked hard and saved money their whole lives." Martha wiped her eyes and tried to be brave. "What do I do now?" "Go home tonight. Act normal. But keep your eyes and ears open. Look for papers, listen to their phone calls, pay attention to everything they say and do. We need to catch them in the act. As Martha walked to her car, her legs felt weak. The world looked different now, darker and scarier. The people she trusted most had been lying to her, maybe for months or even years. But as she drove home, something new started growing in her chest. It wasn't just fear and sadness. It was anger. How dare they think they could trick her? How dare they plan to steal her life away from her? Martha gripped the steering wheel tighter. She had survived losing her husband. She had raised a child all by herself. She had worked hard and saved money and built a good life. She was not going to let them take it all away. When Martha pulled into her driveway, she saw Benjamin and Eleanor talking quietly by the front door. They stopped talking the moment they saw her car and put on big, fake smiles. "Hi, Mom," Benjamin called out, waving. "How was the doctor?" Martha took a deep breath and smiled back, even though her heart was pounding. "Oh, just fine, dear. Everything's perfectly normal." But as she walked toward the house, she heard Eleanor whisper to Benjamin, "Did he sign the papers?" Benjamin whispered back, "Not yet. But don't worry. By next week, the old lady won't know what hit her." Martha's blood turned cold. Next week? They were planning to move against her next week? She had to find out more. She had to discover their whole plan. And then she was going to fight back. Hope you're enjoying this incredible story. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. Now, let's see what happens when Martha starts digging for the shocking truth. That night, Martha lay in her bed pretending to sleep. Her heart was beating so fast, she thought everyone in the house could hear it. Through her bedroom door, she could hear Benjamin and Eleanor talking in the kitchen below. She had to know what they were saying. Moving as quietly as a mouse, Martha crept out of her room and tiptoed to the top of the stairs. The old wooden steps usually creaked, but Martha knew exactly where to step to stay silent. She had lived in this house for 30 years. "The old lady is getting suspicious," Eleanor was saying. Her voice sounded cold and mean, nothing like the sweet voice she used when talking to Martha. "No, she's not," Benjamin replied. "She's too trusting. She believes everything I tell her." Martha's heart broke a little more. The little boy she had raised was talking about her like she was just some stranger. But what if Dr. Sterling won't sign the papers? Eleanor asked. Benjamin laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was evil. "Then we'll find another doctor who will. I've already called Dr. Morris across town. He owes me a favor and he'll sign anything for the right price." "How much money are we talking about here?" Eleanor asked. Martha heard papers rustling. "Look at this," Benjamin said. "The house is worth $400,000. She's got $300,000 in the bank, plus all her jewelry, her car, and the furniture. We're looking at almost $1 million. Eleanor gasped. "That much? I had no idea the old woman was sitting on so much money." "And the best part," Benjamin continued, "once we get her declared mentally unfit, we become her guardians. We control everything. We can sell the house, take all her money, and stick her in the cheapest nursing home we can find." Martha had to cover her mouth to stop herself from crying out loud. They weren't just planning to steal her money. They wanted to put her somewhere terrible. "What about Olivia?" Eleanor asked. "She really loves Martha. She's not going to like this." "Olivia will do what we tell her to do," Benjamin said firmly. "And if she doesn't, she can find somewhere else to live. I'm not letting a teenage girl mess up $1 million plan." Poor Olivia. Martha's granddaughter didn't even know what her parents were planning. "When do we make our move?" Eleanor asked. "Monday morning. I've already made the appointment with Dr. Morris. We'll take Martha there, tell her it's just a regular checkup. Dr. Morris will examine her and declare her mentally incompetent. By Monday afternoon, we'll have legal control over everything she owns." That was only 3 days away. Martha carefully crept back to her room. She sat on her bed, shaking with fear and anger. But she knew she had to be smart. She had to find proof of what they were doing. The next morning, Martha waited until Benjamin and Eleanor left for work. Olivia had gone to school. The house was empty. Martha went straight to Benjamin's room and started searching. In his desk drawer, she found a folder labeled Financial Documents. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside were papers that made her blood run cold. There was a fake medical report that said she was confused and couldn't remember things. There was a document giving Benjamin power over all her bank accounts. There was even a brochure for Sunset Manor Nursing Home, and when Martha looked at the pictures, it looked more like a prison than a home. But the worst thing was a piece of paper with her signature on it, except she had never signed it. Someone had forged her name. Martha kept looking and found something even more horrible. It was a credit card statement, but not her credit card. Someone had opened a credit card in her name and spent thousands of dollars. Expensive restaurants, jewelry, clothes, even a vacation to Hawaii that she had never taken. They had been stealing from her for months. Martha's hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold the papers. How could Benjamin do this to her? She had loved him like her own son. She had worked 2 jobs to pay for his college. She had helped him buy his first house. She had been there for him when no one else was. And this was how he repaid her? Martha heard a car in the driveway. Someone was coming home early. She quickly took pictures of all the papers with her phone. Dr. Sterling had taught her how to do that and put everything back exactly where she found it. She made it to the kitchen just as Eleanor walked through the front door. "Oh, hi, Mom," Eleanor said with that fake smile. "What are you up to?" "Just making some tea," Martha said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Would you like some?" "That's so sweet of you," Eleanor said. But Martha noticed she was looking around the kitchen suspiciously, like she was checking to see if anything had been moved. That afternoon, while Eleanor was in the shower, Martha made a phone call. "Dr. Sterling? It's Martha. I found something terrible." 20 minutes later, Dr. Sterling arrived at Martha's house. Martha showed him the pictures on her phone. Dr. Sterling's face turned red with anger. "Martha, this is worse than I thought. They're not just planning to steal your money. They've already started. This credit card fraud is a serious crime. And forging your signature? That's another crime. What do I do?" Martha whispered. "They're going to take me to a fake doctor on Monday." Dr. Sterling thought for a moment. "Martha, I have a friend who can help us. His name is Dr. Graham Montgomery, and he's a lawyer who specializes in helping people like you. But we need to move fast." "Can we trust him?" Martha asked. "With your life," Dr. Sterling said. "I'll call him right now." An hour later, a tall man with kind eyes knocked on Martha's door. Dr. Montgomery looked at all the evidence Martha had found. "Mrs. Caldwell," he said, "what your family is doing to you is called elder abuse, and it's one of the most serious crimes there is. But the good news is, we can stop them." "How?" Martha asked. Dr. Montgomery smiled. "We're going to set a trap. And when they walk into it, we're going to make sure they never hurt you or anyone else ever again." Martha felt something she hadn't felt in days. Hope. But then she heard Benjamin's car pulling into the driveway. "He's home," Martha whispered. "What do I do now?" Dr. Montgomery quickly gathered up all the papers. "Act normal. Don't let him know anything has changed. Can you do that?" Martha nodded, even though her heart was pounding. Benjamin walked through the door with a big smile on his face. "Hi, Mom. How was your day?" Martha looked at her adopted son, this man who was planning to destroy her life, and forced herself to smile back. "Oh, just wonderful, dear. Everything's perfectly normal." But deep inside, Martha was planning something that would change everything. The real fight was about to begin. Hope you're enjoying this incredible story. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. Now, let's see how deep this web of lies really goes. The next morning was Saturday. Martha sat at her kitchen table, trying to eat breakfast, but her stomach felt like it was full of butterflies. Dr. Montgomery had told her to meet him at his office at noon. He said he had discovered something shocking about Benjamin and Eleanor's plan. "You're not eating much, Mom," Benjamin said, sitting down across from her. Are you feeling okay? Martha looked at his face, the same face she had kissed goodnight for 25 years, and saw a stranger. I'm fine, dear. Just not very hungry. Eleanor walked into the kitchen carrying a stack of papers. Martha, I need you to sign these, she said sweetly. Martha's heart started pounding. What are they? Oh, just some boring insurance papers. Eleanor lied smoothly. Nothing important. But Martha had learned to be suspicious. I'd like to read them first. Eleanor's smile flickered, for just a second. Of course. But they're full of complicated legal words. Why don't you just trust us? We only want what's best for you. I insist on reading them, Martha said firmly. Benjamin stood up quickly. Mom, Eleanor's right. These papers are too confusing they're just standard stuff. Nothing to worry about. Martha noticed he had almost said, too confusing for you. Like she was too old or too stupid to understand her own papers. I'll look at them later, Martha said, not touching the papers. After Benjamin and Eleanor left the house, Martha called Dr. Montgomery. They tried to get me to sign more papers this morning, she told him. Good thing you didn't, Dr. Montgomery said. Martha, what I'm about to tell you is going to shock you. Can you come to my office early? Say, 11 o'clock. An hour later, Martha sat in Dr. Montgomery's office staring at a pile of documents on his desk. Martha, Dr. Montgomery said gently, Benjamin and Eleanor's crimes are much worse than we thought. I hired a private investigator, and what he found is unbelievable. He handed her a thick folder. This man's name is Paul Hayes. He's a professional document forger. Benjamin has paid him over $10,000 in the last 6 months to create fake papers with your signature. Martha looked at photos of Paul Hayes, a thin man with mean eyes. $10,000? Where did Benjamin get that kind of money? From you, Dr. Montgomery said sadly. The credit cards they opened in your name? They've been using them to pay for their crimes. They used your money to hire people to steal more of your money. Martha felt sick. What else did they do? The private investigator, a kind woman named Sarah, walked into the office. Mrs. Caldwell, I've been watching your family for 3 days. What I discovered will make you angry, but it will also help us stop them. Sarah opened her laptop and showed Martha photographs. This is Benjamin at a casino last Tuesday. He lost $8,000 gambling your money. This is Eleanor buying expensive clothes and jewelry, also your money. And this is them meeting with Paul Hayes to create more fake documents. Martha stared at the pictures. Benjamin had told her he was at work that day. Eleanor had said she was visiting her sick mother. Everything was a lie. But there's more, Sarah continued. They've been planning this for over a year. I found emails between them talking about the old lady's money and how to get rid of the problem. Martha's blood went cold. Get rid of the problem? They mean me. Dr. Montgomery nodded grimly. Martha, they were planning to put you in that terrible nursing home and never visit you again. They wanted you to disappear from their lives so they could spend your money without feeling guilty. Tears ran down Martha's face. How could people be so cruel? But Sarah wasn't finished. There's something else. Eleanor has been lying to Olivia. She told her daughter that you're sick and confused, and that putting you in a nursing home is the only way to help you. Olivia believes them. She thinks they're being kind. Poor Olivia, Martha whispered. She doesn't know what her parents really are. Dr. Montgomery leaned forward. Martha, we have enough evidence to send Benjamin and Eleanor to prison for a very long time. Credit card fraud, forgery, elder abuse. These are serious crimes. But we need to catch them in the act. What do you mean? Martha asked. Sarah smiled. We're going to let them think their plan is working. On Monday, when they try to take you to that fake doctor, we'll be ready for them. But what if something goes wrong? Martha worried. What if they hurt me? They won't get the chance, Dr. Montgomery promised. We'll have police officers nearby, and I'll be there too. But Martha, you're going to have to be very brave. Martha thought about everything Benjamin and Eleanor had stolen from her. Not just her money. They had stolen her trust, her peace of mind, and her sense of safety in her own home. What do you need me to do? Martha asked. Dr. Montgomery explained the plan. It was risky, but if it worked, Benjamin and Eleanor would never be able to hurt anyone again. That evening, Martha went home and tried to act normal. But at dinner, something happened that broke her heart all over again. Olivia was unusually quiet, picking at her food. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" Martha asked. Olivia looked up with sad eyes. "Grandma Martha, are you sick?" Martha's heart stopped. "What do you mean, dear?" "Mom and Dad told me that you're getting confused and forgetting things. They said you might need to go live somewhere where nurses can take better care of you." Martha looked across the table at Eleanor, who was staring at her plate and wouldn't meet her eyes. "Olivia," Martha said carefully, "what do you think? Do I seem confused to you?" Olivia shook her head. "No, you seem exactly the same as always. But Mom and Dad say sometimes older people don't realize when they're getting sick." Martha felt fury building in her chest. They were poisoning her granddaughter's mind against her. "Olivia," Martha said, "I want you to know that I love you very much. No matter what happens, that will never change." After dinner, Martha was washing dishes when she overheard Eleanor on the phone. "Everything's set for Monday morning," Eleanor was saying. "Dr. Morris will do exactly what we want. By Monday night, we'll have complete control over the old lady's money." "What about the girl?" a man's voice asked. Martha realized it was Paul Hayes, the forger. "Olivia won't be a problem," Eleanor said coldly. "If she doesn't like it, she can go live with her real grandmother. I'm not letting a teenager stand in the way of $1 million. Martha's hands clenched into fists. Eleanor was willing to abandon her own daughter for money. That night, Martha made a decision. She wasn't just going to stop Benjamin and Eleanor. She was going to make sure the whole world knew what kind of people they really were. She was going to expose them in a way they would never forget. But first, she had to survive Monday morning. As Martha lay in bed that night, she could hear Benjamin and Eleanor celebrating in their room. They were laughing and making plans for how to spend their money. They had no idea that their world was about to come crashing down. Martha smiled in the darkness. They thought she was just a helpless old woman. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Hope you're enjoying this incredible story. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. Now it's time for Martha to show everyone what she's really made of. Monday morning came like thunder. Martha woke up knowing this was the day that would change everything. Either she would stop Benjamin and Eleanor's evil plan, or they would succeed in destroying her life. She got dressed carefully, putting on her favorite blue dress and the pearl necklace her husband had given her 40 years ago. If this was going to be her last day of freedom, she wanted to look dignified. At breakfast, Benjamin was unusually cheerful. "Ready for your doctor's appointment, Mom?" "Of course, dear," Martha said, even though her heart was pounding like a drum. Eleanor came downstairs carrying a large purse. Martha knew it probably contained all the fake papers they wanted her to sign. "I'll drive," Eleanor said sweetly. "Benjamin can sit in the back with you to keep you company." As they walked to the car, Martha saw a van parked across the street. She knew Dr. Montgomery and the police were inside, watching everything. That made her feel a little braver. But when they got to Dr. Morris's office, Martha's courage almost failed her. The building looked old and dirty. The sign on the door was crooked. This wasn't a real doctor's office. It was the perfect place for criminals to do their dirty work. "Come on, Mom," Benjamin said, taking her arm a little too tightly. "Let's get this over with." Inside, Dr. Morris looked exactly like Martha had imagined, greedy eyes and a fake smile. He didn't even examine Martha properly. He just asked her a few simple questions, then nodded to Benjamin. "I'm afraid your mother is showing signs of mental decline," Dr. Morris announced. "She's no longer capable of making important decisions about her life or her money." Martha felt fury building inside her chest. This man had spent less than 5 minutes with her and was declaring her mentally unfit. "Now, if you'll just sign these papers," Eleanor said, pulling out a thick stack of documents, "we can get everything taken care of." This was it. This was the moment Martha had been waiting for. But instead of signing the papers, Martha stood up and looked Dr. Morris straight in the eye. "Doctor," she said in a loud, clear voice, "I have a question for you. How much money is Benjamin paying you to lie about my mental health?" Dr. Morris's face went pale. I don't know what you mean." "I mean," Martha said, her voice getting stronger, "that I know this whole thing is fake. I know you're not a real doctor doing a real examination. I know you're part of a criminal conspiracy to steal my money." Benjamin jumped up. "Mom, you're confused. You don't know what you're saying." Martha turned to face her adopted son, the man she had loved and raised for 25 years. "Benjamin, I know exactly what I'm saying. I know about the fake credit cards. I know about Paul Hayes, the document forger. I know about your gambling debts and Eleanor's shopping sprees. I know you've been stealing from me for months." Eleanor's fake smile disappeared completely. "You can't prove any of that." Martha smiled, a strong, confident smile that surprised everyone in the room. "Actually, I can. I have photographs of you meeting with Paul Hayes. I have bank records showing the stolen money. I have recordings of you planning to put me in a terrible nursing home. And most importantly," Martha pulled out her phone and held it up, "I've been recording this entire conversation." The room went dead silent. Dr. Morris was the first to panic. "I want no part of this," he said, jumping up from his chair. "Benjamin, you never told me she knew about the plan?" "Shut up, you fool," Benjamin hissed. But it was too late. Martha's phone had recorded Dr. Morris admitting there was a plan. Eleanor tried to grab Martha's phone, but Martha was ready for her. She stepped back and pressed a button on her phone. "Don't worry," Martha said calmly. "Everything that just happened has already been sent to my lawyer, Dr. Montgomery. Even if you take my phone now, it's too late." Benjamin's face turned red with anger. For the first time, Martha saw him as he really was, not her loving son, but a cruel man who cared more about money than people. "You think you're so smart, old woman," he snarled. "But who's going to believe you? Everyone thinks old people are crazy, anyway." Martha's eyes flashed with determination. "We'll see about that." That afternoon, Martha did something that shocked everyone who knew her. She set up a camera in her living room and started a live video on the internet called "A Grandma Tells the Truth About Her Family." Within an hour, thousands of people were watching. Martha told her whole story. She showed the fake documents. She played recordings of Benjamin and Eleanor planning to steal her money. She explained how they had tried to have her declared mentally unfit by a fake doctor. The comments from viewers poured in. "This is terrible. How could they do this to you? You're so brave for speaking out. I'm calling the police in your town right now. My grandmother went through the same thing. Thank you for fighting back." But the most important comment came from someone unexpected. "Grandma Martha? This is Olivia. I'm watching from school. I can't believe what Mom and Dad did to you. I'm so sorry. I'm coming home right now." 20 minutes later, Olivia burst through Martha's front door with tears streaming down her face. "I had no idea," Olivia cried, throwing her arms around Martha. "They told me you were sick. They said putting you in a nursing home was the only way to help you. I believed them because they're my parents." Martha held her granddaughter tightly. "It's not your fault, sweetheart. They lied to you too." "Where are they now?" Olivia asked. As if summoned by her question, Benjamin and Eleanor's car screeched into the driveway. They ran into the house, both of them looking panicked and angry. "What have you done?" Benjamin shouted when he saw the camera set up. "Do you have any idea how many people have seen that video?" "About 50,000 so far," Martha said calmly. "And the number keeps growing." Eleanor pointed at Olivia. "You get upstairs right now, young lady. This has nothing to do with you." But Olivia stood up straight and looked at her mother with disappointed eyes. "It has everything to do with me. You were planning to put the woman I love most in the world into a terrible place, just so you could steal her money. How could you? She's not even your real grandmother." Eleanor screamed. "I'm your mother. You're supposed to be on my side." "Real family isn't about blood," Olivia said firmly. "It's about love and loyalty. Grandma Martha has shown me more love than you ever have." Just then, there was a loud knock on the front door. "FBI. Open up." Benjamin's face went white as snow. Eleanor started shaking. Martha walked calmly to the door and opened it. 3 FBI agents in dark suits stood on her porch. "Mrs. Caldwell, we've seen your video. We're here to arrest Benjamin and Eleanor for elder abuse, fraud, and conspiracy to commit theft." As the FBI agents put handcuffs on Benjamin and Eleanor, Martha felt something she hadn't felt in months: peace. Benjamin looked at her with hate in his eyes. "This isn't over, old woman." Martha looked back at him with sadness, but also with strength. "Yes, Benjamin. It is over. You chose money over love, and now you'll have to live with that choice." As the FBI car drove away with Benjamin and Eleanor inside, Martha put her arm around Olivia. "What happens now, Grandma Martha?" Olivia asked. Martha smiled, a real smile, full of hope and determination. "Now, sweetheart, we build a new life. A life based on truth, love, and respect." But even as she said the words, Martha knew the biggest challenge was still ahead. The trial was coming, and she would have to face Benjamin and Eleanor in court. She would have to be stronger than she had ever been in her entire life. Hope you're enjoying this incredible story. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And if you know an elderly person in your life, make sure to check on them and show them love. You never know how much it might mean to them. Now, let's see how Martha's incredible journey ends. 6 months later, Martha sat in a courtroom wearing her best dress. The trial had finally arrived, and the whole world was watching. Benjamin and Eleanor sat at a table across from her, both wearing orange prison uniforms. They looked tired and scared, very different from the confident criminals they had been before. The prosecutor, a smart woman named Ms. Rodriguez, stood up to address the jury. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said in a clear, strong voice, "this case is about one of the most horrible crimes imaginable, a family betraying the person who loved them most." For 3 days, the court heard all the evidence. The fake credit cards, the forged documents, the recordings of Benjamin and Eleanor planning Martha's destruction. Paul Hayes, the document forger, testified from his own prison cell, admitting that Benjamin had paid him thousands of dollars to create fake papers. Dr. Morris, the fake doctor, broke down and confessed everything. He begged for forgiveness, but the damage was already done. The most powerful moment came when Olivia took the witness stand. "My parents told me Grandma Martha was sick," Olivia said, her voice shaking with emotion. "They made me believe that putting her in a nursing home was an act of kindness. I never knew they were stealing from her. I never knew they planned to abandon her there and never visit." Olivia looked directly at Benjamin and Eleanor. "They didn't just betray Grandma Martha. They betrayed me too. They turned me into part of their lie." When it was Martha's turn to speak, she stood up slowly and faced the jury. "I want you all to know," Martha said, "that this isn't just about money. Yes, they stole my savings. Yes, they forged my name and opened fake credit cards. But the worst thing they stole was my sense of safety in my own home." Martha's voice got stronger as she continued. "For months, I lived with people who were planning to destroy my life. I ate dinner with them. I said I love you to them every night. And all the time, they were counting the days until they could get rid of me." There wasn't a dry eye in the courtroom. "But I want the jury to know something else," Martha continued. "I survived this because I refused to give up. I fought back because I knew other elderly people are going through the same thing right now. This trial isn't just about me. It's about every grandparent, every elderly person who deserves to live with dignity and respect." The jury took only 2 hours to make their decision. Guilty on all charges. Benjamin was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Eleanor got 10 years. Both of them would also have to pay back every penny they had stolen, plus damages. As the judge read the sentences, Benjamin turned to look at Martha one last time. But instead of anger, Martha saw something else in his eyes: regret. Maybe, deep down, he finally understood what he had lost. After the trial, Martha and Olivia walked out of the courthouse together. Reporters were waiting, but Martha had only one thing to say. Real family isn't about blood. It's about love, respect, and loyalty. I lost a son today, but I gained something much more valuable, the knowledge that I'm stronger than I ever imagined. 3 months later, Martha stood in the garden of her new home. It was smaller than her old house, but it was perfect. Bright yellow walls, a cozy kitchen, and a beautiful garden full of roses and sunflowers. Olivia was inside, studying for her high school finals. After the trial, she had moved in with Martha permanently. Her grades had improved dramatically, and she had big dreams for the future. "I want to become a lawyer," Olivia had told Martha. "I want to help protect elderly people from criminals like my parents." Martha smiled, remembering those words. Olivia was going to change the world. Dr. Montgomery visited often, and he had helped Martha start something very special, the Martha Caldwell Foundation for Elder Protection. The foundation provided free legal help to elderly people who were being abused or taken advantage of by their families. Martha's story had inspired thousands of people. Her video about standing up to Benjamin and Eleanor had been watched over 10 million times. People from all over the world sent letters sharing their own stories and thanking Martha for being brave. But the best letter came from a woman in Texas. "Dear Martha, I watched your video and realized my own son was stealing from me the same way Benjamin stole from you. Because of your courage, I found the strength to stop him. You saved my life. Thank you." Martha kept that letter on her kitchen table, where she could see it every morning. One evening, as Martha and Olivia were making dinner together, Olivia asked a question that surprised her. "Grandma Martha, do you ever miss them? Benjamin and Eleanor?" Martha thought carefully before answering. "I miss the people I thought they were. I miss the son who used to hug me goodnight and the daughter-in-law who called me mom. But those people were never real. They were just masks hiding greedy, cruel hearts." "Do you think they'll ever change?" Olivia asked. Martha looked out the window at her garden, where new flowers were blooming every day. "I don't know, sweetheart. People can change if they want to. But first, they have to admit they were wrong. And some people are too proud to do that." "What if they try to contact us when they get out of prison?" Martha put her arm around Olivia. "Then we'll deal with that when it happens. But right now, we have something much more important to focus on, building a beautiful life together." That night, Martha tucked Olivia into bed, just like she used to do when Olivia was small. "Grandma Martha?" Olivia whispered in the darkness. "Yes, sweetheart. I'm proud of you. You're the strongest person I know." Martha kissed Olivia's forehead. "And you, my dear girl, are going to be even stronger. You're going to help so many people." As Martha turned off the lights and headed to her own room, she felt something wonderful, complete peace. She had lost a house, but gained a home. She had lost a son, but gained a true daughter. She had lost her trust in family, but found her trust in herself. Martha looked out her bedroom window at the stars twinkling in the dark sky. Somewhere out there, other elderly people were facing the same betrayals she had faced. But now there was help available. Now there was hope. "Thank you," Martha whispered to the stars, "for giving me the strength to fight back. And thank you for showing me that endings can be beginnings." In the morning, Martha would wake up and tend her garden. Olivia would study for her college entrance exams. Dr. Montgomery would call with news about another elderly person they had helped. And somewhere, another family would choose love over greed because they had heard Martha's story. The woman who had once been a victim had become a hero. And her story was just beginning. If Martha's story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with everyone you know, and subscribe for more incredible true stories. But most importantly, check on the elderly people in your life. Visit your grandparents, call that elderly neighbor, volunteer at a nursing home. Elder abuse is real and happening right now. You could be someone's hero just by showing you care. If you or someone you know is experiencing elder abuse, don't stay silent. Remember Martha's words, real family isn't about blood. It's about love, respect, and loyalty. Drop a comment below telling us what you thought of Martha's incredible journey, and don't forget to share the story. You never know whose life it might save. What other incredible true stories would you like to hear? Let us know in the comments below.